You're back for more of His Dark Materials here on BuzzChomp, and I'm about to lay down some big time predictions for Season 2. I'm Dan Salem. I have not read the books, so I really don't know what's about to happen. These are my predictions for Season 2 of His Dark Materials.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Dan.
Subscribe to
BuzzChomp. Woo! Those of you who have read the books probably know what's coming. But the first season of His Dark Materials covered the first book. It also pulled from the other books. Book 2, it pulled from the new trilogy, which had a prequel book and an epilogue book. So it pulled from all angles. That being said, we don't exactly know where it's going to pull in Season 2. We don't quite know where the story will lead, especially if we haven't read, and I haven't read. So these are my predictions. This is what I think is going to happen. We got a major cliffhanger to end Season 1. Lyra stepped through into another world across the energy bridge, a splinter. Lord Asriel stepped through. Will stepped through. We know Boreal's crossing at will. Marisa was left behind. Roger's dead. The Egyptians took all the kids home. And Lee and Iork are kind of best friends again on a new adventure. There's got to be a new enemy introduced. And I have a feeling it's probably Will's father. I don't think he's going to be a good guy. Will hasn't seen his father in 13 years. He disappeared. Will crossed over, I think, into Jordan College at Oxford, but we don't quite know where he steps to. Lyra and Lord Asriel stepped through. I have a feeling they are going to step through to the area with the giant castle. I think we have to see what this world with the castle is. This is a multiverse, right? It's multiple universes stacked, and we've only seen 2 and then got a glimmer of a third. We have to finally enter into that third universe. That being said, I think Lyra is going to cause her father's death. Asriel is going to die. That is a big prediction. I don't think it's going to take very long either. I do believe Lyra will be able to use the alethiometer to choose which world she wants to step through. So if an energy bridge is created, I think she'll be able to walk across into whatever universe she desires instead of just letting it carry her forth. These pre-existing splinters, they are going to get discovered by the Magisterium, and I think that they're going to start to try to close them. And I don't know if it's going to be the witches and the Egyptians, but someone's going to fight the Magisterium to try to keep them open, especially with Lyra crossing back and forth. I believe Lyra and Will meet up. I think that they need to team up in order to stop the Magisterium. We need to figure out who the real enemy is in Will's world. We also need to figure out who the larger enemy is between the multiverses. We have people crossing, right? Boreal's crossing. Will's father's crossing. Now we have Lyra, Will, and Lord Asriel crossing. Who else is crossing? And how do you choose which worlds you want to enter? How do you control which splinter goes where? Like at Oxford, the splinter is between those 2 worlds. But who's to say which world it enters? There's multiple worlds, and they're all less stacked on top of each other. How do you choose? How do you control it? I think the alethiometer is the key. I think the witches will discover that they've been wrong and can actually control this and use their magic to intervene. It appears that Lord Boreal is the main villain of the series. He was the only true villain in Season 1, and he's going to become an even bigger villain here in Season 2. The Magisterium, not quite a villain. All of their power was always squashed by a single individual. They never were actually able to impose it upon anyone. That being said, I do believe the head of the Magisterium will rise up to villain status. I don't think Marisa is going to stick with the Magisterium. I actually think she might become a good guy and fight them because she has nothing left to offer them, and her daughter is left and she wants to find her daughter. So if dust is sin, but dust is the only way to find her daughter, she's going to end up having to use dust, which means she's going to be going against the Magisterium, which means she's going to be on the good guy's side in the end. Yeah, it's kind of a flip of turn events, but this is very much a female empowering series, and I don't think it's going to take away from that as it heads forward. I want more from the Egyptians. I want more from Iork and Lee. I'm not convinced they're going to be seen much, if at all, in the next season. Their story's kind of concluded. Unless Lee and Marisa work together, I don't understand how he plays any part in the series going forward. Maybe he's going to enter the bridge and chase Lyra and then help Lyra defeat Asriel and find their way to Will. But that's a stretch at this point, because I'm not sure why he would even be up there. Like, unless the witches tell him, follow her, protect her, so then he's going to step through the energy bridge and make the crossing. That's a possibility. I rank it kind of 50%. Someone's going to follow Lyra to protect Lyra. I don't think it's Iork. It could be Lee. The witches claim they're bound to the world, but I'd love to see one of the witches step through. Boreal's the big question mark for me. His motivations are cloudy at best. He's not really working for the Magisterium. He's just using them for his own gains. Is he really working for himself, or does he have an outside entity boss guiding him? There's like a big piece of the puzzle missing for me, and I think we're going to get a major answer in season 2 as to Boreal's motives and like where Lyra and Will are headed on their trajectory paths. What is the point of the series, right? Lyra's the chosen one. She's going to, quote, save the world. What is she saving it from? Yes, the Magisterium have oversight over her world. Yes, there are splinters between universes, between worlds. But right now, there's no like overarching evil trying to take anything down or destroy anything. There's no overarching evil for her to fight, as far as I can tell. Her father's evil, Boreal's evil, Marisa may or may not be evil, the Magisterium is often evil. But they're not coming after her. She went after Asriel. We're going to find a new evil and a new enemy in season 2. I've just laid down a ton of predictions. None of them felt super bombshelly, but that's what happens when you land with a cliffhanger and you haven't read the books, because that would just be spoiling the spoil. There's no point in predicting if you know what happens. Comment below. If you haven't read the books, make your predictions. If you have read the books, tell me if I nailed any, but don't tell me which ones are wrong, because I want to be surprised. That was the best part about watching season 1, getting surprised about what happened. I'm Dan Salem. Subscribe to the BuzzChomp YouTube channel for more great sci-fi, fantasy, and of course, His Dark Materials as season 2 kicks off. Woo!
Thanks for watching BuzzChomp.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share.
Share.
Woo!